Let's see. Saying I'm going live.
It says live.
So it says live on Facebook. At least that's what it's saying. A little delayed on my end here, folks. This technology isn't bulletproof yet, but it looks like we're live. I'm with Scott Strychary, who is. Hey, what's up?
Nothing, man. How you doing?
Hey, look, I'm very excited tonight. You know, we've been talking and about the 120-minute IPA that's been sitting in your cellar for 6 years. Tell us about that.
Yeah, just a buddy of mine just talked about who kind of got me hooked into the craft beer scene. You know, said these are good bottles or good beers to age, and I was like, "What's?"
You notice how you said good bottles, almost like it was subliminal. It's in your subliminal. You know why? You are a bottle, my friend. Thank you.
Yes,
not to cut you off, but bottles do cut people off. That's what we do.
That's right. I'll cut you off too.
All right, you're a bottle to bottle. That's what we do.
Bottle to bottle. That's what we do.
Right.
So yeah, so he just told me about it, and I got my first Dogfish 120 and drank it, and then I said, all right, well, let's try aging it. So I just put it in my grandma's credenza that I had downstairs, and kept it in the dark, and much like a bottle. Yeah. Kept it in the dark for long periods of time. Yeah, right?
We're from the cellars. We're bringing this up from the cellars. We're from hey, we're orphans. We come from the cellars and the crawl space.
Cellars to the streets. Cellars to the streets.
That's where they find bottles, in the streets, in the sewers, in basements.
That's right.
They find us dug in the sand, from the old days. Now cans are the only thing going on the beaches nowadays. Like,
I know.
Really, you know how pissed I am about that, right?
Yes, I do.
Wouldn't you agree, Scott the Bottle? Can I call you Scott the Bottle?
Call me Scott the Bottle.
All right, let's do it. All right, see, this is the kind of friends I have on. And the can is online. Can you believe it? The can is in the flesh. He
actually has internet, huh?
Yeah. Dial up like the turtles, because he is, he helps turtles across the road. So he still has dial up.
Dial up.
Yeah, let's make fun of this more.
AOL.com.
There you go. Well, look, it's great to have you, Scott. We're going to get going. I'm going to go on with the news first, and then we'll get to your segment towards the end while we get more people on.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Robert from Brooklyn. I don't know if you're on yet. He's originally from Brooklyn. He's a friend of the Can. So the Can sent me a message. I got to give a shout out to Rob from Brooklyn. And he lives in Kennelin, New Jersey now. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. That's not bottle land for me. I'm in the cities. That's where I am. Anyway, hey, look, I like country folk that love bottles too, that are bottles. So I don't want to, I don't want
Budweiser bottles.
My base. Yeah. Budweiser. Look, the craft, I'll give it to Budweiser. Now I know you are about the craft beers, but Budweiser at least kept me alive, for a while. And I want these crafts to come back. Now Scott the Bottle. I don't know what's going on, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, big shout out. We're going to get into bottle versus can. For the people who are just tuning in that don't know about the show as much and what the bottle versus can means. Now, Scott's a bottle. He'll understand this. So bottles are loud, obnoxious, self-centered, egotistical. They try to run people, run the country. Apparently, that's what they say. Now, this one bottle has run the country. The Supreme bottle is an imposter. I heard his name a few times. And trying to emulate me. I'm sorry, not going to happen. Anyway, but this is the Supreme bottle that there's been this talk about. Now, Scott doesn't fit all these categories. He seems like a very mild-mannered guy. So is the bottle. But we get a bad rap for these kind of bad characteristics, and mostly coming from the cans camp. And so the can is a self-proclaimed environmentalist and people person, can of the people, reserved, low, won't talk or talks very little. But the cans of the world are the worker bees, the can of the people. They help out. A lot of these EMTs and people in the hospitals are cans. They do that kind of can work. And God bless them, right?
God bless them.
This is the characteristic. Who are you? Is the question to you at home and on the roads or wherever you're looking at. Who are you? Are you a can or a bottle? Not just can you like drinking out of a bottle or a can. Who are you? And so we're going to talk about bottles behaving badly. Now, this is a can segment, Scott the Bottle. And so the can sends me these messages through like telepathy because we're we're vessel to vessel, we're fluid like that. And he gives me headaches every day because he says, I need you to go on like a whipping bottle and talk about everything that's wrong with these bottles behaving badly. Remember the characteristics of the people in the world that are bottles. They're giving me a bad name, but here it goes. The first ones are Ivanka and Jared in today's. Now, from what I understand through the can, it sends me this message, and I have watched the news a little bit too, that a video was put on around the 30th or so of March from Ivanka. She had no makeup on. She was trying to connect with the people, I guess. She's always dressed to the nines normally, but she wanted to be a normal person, I guess. And I'm going to do this, whatever she went on with this sort of blog.
Trying to be a can, right?
What's that?
Trying to be a can, right?
Trying to be a can. See, there's poser cans, and there's poser bottles, and there's posers of a lot of nature. But she went on trying to be a can, exactly right, Scott. And she went on, she's one of us. She went on and she basically said, stay, do not travel if you don't have to. Went through a biggest deal. We're in this together and give everybody love. And a few weeks later, or a couple of weeks later, she went out for Passover's travel to New Jersey. I'm assuming with her bottle husband, who was all behaving bad. Now, did they go? Were there other people there from other parts of the family that went in there? I don't know. Scott, did you hear anything about this?
Well, since it was a hot spot, I'm sure and Passover, right? I'm sure there were some people hanging out.
I would think so.
Maybe
more
than that.
And a lot of people, especially in their camp, that maybe are entitled a little bit. So this entitled bottle, Ivanka feels that it doesn't apply to me because my travel is very important, right? People missed Easter, people missed that. Now I got to kind of agree with the can on this one, Scott, even though I'm a bottle and she's. Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, so now for the sake of this beer movie, we're going to call her husband Jared the section 8-ounce bottle. The section 8-ounce bottle, we'll call him, right?
Let's just call him Jared Widemouth.
Okay, there you go. Like a Mickey. Remember those? Oh man, they were good. Now that was a bottle, but it was a big mouth bottle. And a lot of people didn't like that bottle either. It didn't last long, did it?
No.
See? Big mouth. Now, I don't know if this guy has a big mouth, but he's got a checkered past. Now, the bottle has a checkered past. I've been around since the 15th century, Scott, the bottle. You know that. You've been around just however old you are. But I'm an old man. So I've been through all this with these bottles. And these people come and go. So, Ivanka and Jared, you are bottles behaving badly right now. You're going to preach the preach, but it doesn't apply to you. Kind of like the next bottle, we're going to talk about the Supreme bottle, things that don't apply to this person. This phony bottle who's trying to make me look bad. I am the Supreme bottle, not you, fella. How about that, Scott? What do you think about Supreme bottle or that poser hack? Now, you may be a fan of this person. I don't know. Remember, you can say what you want.
Right. So, I mean, I kind of agree, but he is I think my buddy Charlie from New Jersey is tuning in too. So hey, Charlie.
Hey, Keith, what's up?
Really, it's talk less, tweet less.
Tweet less.
You might get more fans.
Yeah, it's exactly. It seems like he's shooting off that he's going to do this and that, and he always seems to back down because he doesn't make the rules really. And, I know I know all bottles like to be rebels. I am the biggest rebel there is. Well, maybe not. Maybe this person is, but even I know to temper my glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you are.
Can I add a bottle behaving badly?
What about?
Can I add a bottle?
Yes, please. We love audience participation.
So as you know, we're from the great state of Delaware, correct? Right, Bottle?
Yes, we are.
Yes, and I just have to put this out there that there was a bottle at a golf course. The golf course was a bottle, right?
The golf course was a bottle.
The golf course was
the whole golf course.
The whole golf course.
Okay.
And Saturday there was like 40 license plates from Pennsylvania in the golf parking lot. So hey,
I live in Pennsylvania, right? In my lair here.
Oh, is it? So
yeah, and I'm very upset with those. They crossed the lines. They made it federal. It federal.
Yes, bootlegging
bootlegging golf bootleggers. And then what happened? You paid?
I played, and it was just no quarantining for these people. But, you know,
you're saying that the golf course themselves tried to rake in the money.
Yeah. Profits before safety.
That's bottle behavior. That's bottles behaving badly. I'm gonna have to say to my people from Pennsylvania, look, I know it's tax-free in Delaware. If there's anything like the bottle loves tax-free. Bottle goes in there. Bottle is from Delaware, moved to Pennsylvania. Okay, I get it, folks. But look, you know, your liberties and all this. Look, how do you think my liberties are? I'm right now in my bottle there alone. No bottle babes. They're doing the right thing. We've been Zooming together, you know, doing some virtual stuff, a little bit of virtual touching and stuff like that, but I don't have them with me. Bottles of Pennsylvania don't golf in Delaware. Leave them alone. And Delaware, wherever you are, those golf courses, stop taking PA people. You're not setting a good example. Is that what we're hearing? Is that what we're trying to say?
That's right.
All right. Anything else on that?
No, that's it.
Any more shout outs? You just jump in anytime because that's what we like. We like an audience to get involved here. All right, folks. Hey there. So, Keith, I'll buy a car off you some other time. Get back on here. Guys are trying to sell me a car. Trying to sell. I bought a bottle truck off him one time in a car. I'm talking 1995. The guy coming at me. I'm in the Baltimore state. What am I supposed to do?
Time to get a new bottle truck.
I do, man. I need a pimp ride, man. I need it. All right, we're going to get to one more. Well, actually, there's a couple more. So the Supreme bottle now is coming up with a what's called the task force, I guess, of all these companies and stuff like that from the Waffle House. Now, this is what the can says. He wants to call it the Waffle House now. So he's getting these people together, these great minds and great greedy hands on a task force.
Do you think the Waffle's calling it the Waffle, or the can calling it the Waffle House because Waffle House never closes in pandemics and
good point,
tsunamis?
Can I know wife of Can's on here and stuff. Please type in. Is it because it never closes, the Waffle House? Is that what you're calling it? This, for the sake of this? We'll wait for him. I think that's a good point. I don't know what's in the can's head. I never know. You can speculate there. That's good. Okay. So anyway, these fantastic ideas are going to come from this task force of, you know, banks and stuff like that, and others, but mostly banks. Okay, so and he actually, from what I saw, because the bottle tunes in, he actually named some people from those banks to make sure he gave them shout outs, not the trucking company or whatever, you know. So anyway, again, for people who just tune in, we got Scott Strychary cracking a 6-year-old bottle of Dogfish IPA 120. There it is. And it's come from the cellar. And we love the cellar. Bottles love the cellar because we're orphans. That's where we came from. And that's where we will go in the end. So anyway, we're going to do that in a few. But this lawyer that's been defending the church that has defied and the social distancing has been diagnosed now with the COVID. Okay.
Good.
Karma's a bitch. But,
hell yeah.
I guess, but you know, I've been on here, Scott, talking about the religious thing, and people, you know, people went as far as putting nails in the fronts of the parking lot so people couldn't drive in for Easter Sunday, and they somehow still got in full church. And I go, you know, maybe God is saying it's okay to pray at home with your family. I mean, and maybe we could, you know,
hey, there's
things for each other.
There's a thing called Facebook Live and Zoom that people can, the
bottle's on. Scott, the bottle's on. So that's a bottle. That's a lot of bottles behaving badly over, you know, in the state in the Midwest. I forget exactly where it was from. I don't
Tennessee.
I don't want to call out. There's probably a lot of them.
Yeah.
But this one, the cops came and everything, and it was all kinds of craziness. So anyway, there's our bottles behaving badly tonight, folks. Please, that's a whole case of bottles behaving badly on the golf course. If you think about the number of people from Pennsylvania that came and poached on the land, and so this is what the can's saying. Not me. Don't shoot the messenger. They're the can's words, not mine. Okay. The White House and Waffle House are filled with grease and cockroaches. The can. Okay. Oh. That's really the reason he's saying. It's not that they're open 24 hours.
He's never eaten at the Waffle House.
What's that?
He's never eaten at the Waffle House.
He's never eaten at the Waffle House. Very good. They have the best waffles that I've known. Greasy or not, buttery or not, they were delicious. Trust me.
Covered and smothered.
A 6-pack of bottles.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott, tell me about Beer Can of Love Story. You saw the movie. So tell us about what your thought was. First of all, it should have been Bottle Love or something and not Beer Can Love.
I kind of agree. I remember.
But tell me what you thought. What was your takeaways from?
So I remember getting a text from the can, you know, sending me this link to this website. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. I'll whatever. Next day I get another text from the can. What you think? I'm like, oh, I need to watch it. So I was watching. I'm like, wow, I think I know the can. So Can and I started talking, and I thought the movie was very funny. I know, like when I was younger, I couldn't drink, but I had a small beer can collection. Let alone the guy from out near York, Pennsylvania, had 110,000 beer cans, right?
Yeah, over 100 or somewhere near it.
Well, it's like 112 now. I don't know. You probably
I'm waiting for the guy who has the biggest bottle collection to call me and say, "Hey, let's top this." It's just
Have they called you yet?
No.
Okay.
Mostly because I live in a basement. I get bad reception. I'm sure the phone's ringing off the hook. I just don't get good reception.
Okay. So I thought the movie was great. Like to see part two. Maybe a little more beer. Bottle babes.
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, well, the Bottle Babes are in the sequel. We actually are. It's funny you say that, Scott, because as soon as this gets lifted, we already have our plans for the sequel. It's going to be Beer Can Love Story on steroids. Trust me.
Steroids. Okay.
A lot of the Bottle Babes and a lot of the bottle. The can, unfortunately, will be in it too. But we're going to do it. So yes. So you enjoyed it, and you feel like when we do these screenings across the country, you feel that people should come out, right? I'm not
definitely
bottling this year.
A different twist on what's going on outside in the outside world once quarantine's over. It's a comedic twist, I like to say, but it's true. It's true.
It's a true story.
It is.
So tell me about a little bit of home brewing. That some of these people you were a home brewer, you dabbled in it, right?
I dabbled.
Now with this home stuff happening for a while, maybe this home brewing might start coming back a little bit. That might not be what the beer companies want to hear.
Right.
But, what do you think? What's it like?
So the main thing you need to have to be a successful home brewer is empty bottles. So you're drinking bottles, saving bottles.
Not cans.
No, not cans. You can't do it with cans. You got to take off the labels, but it's a 6-week process. You might not know if you're just starting, you might get a beer, you might get a cider, depending on everything. You might not get anything. So anything that tastes
good. It's kind of a crapshoot. You sort of mix it together and see what sort of forms from it.
Yeah, it's all about chemistry. That's what I tell the kids sitting home in quarantine. If you want a good chemistry project, start making beer. It's all about fermentation, right? Okay,
fermentation, but get your parents to do something about it, though.
Yes.
With forms.
With the forms. You got to sign the forms. You got to, high school kids, some of these kids that are on the wrong side of the block, they might want to make prison hooch. And that's all about fermentation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you make like a sweet wine or a barley wine or something like that.
Stuff used to be called jungle juice or something? Or no, that was
I don't know. I remember watching the movie Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. Making that stuff all crazy. So
now, is Clint Eastwood a bottle or a can? What do you think?
I don't know. I'd say he's a bottle because he's still a tough guy at 80 some years old, right? I'd still walk on the other side of the street if I saw him coming down the road.
Yeah, and he's a bottle, and bottles are tough guys, but we're lovers too, obviously.
Yeah.
I have many lovers. I've taken many lovers in my day.
Yeah.
But but Clint is definitely a bottle. Plus, he's on that side of his mindset is very bottle-like. And the can would say he hates him. What's up, Dane? How you doing? Good to see you. Anyway, let's keep moving along. We're going to get to that. So that's our bottles behaving badly. Shout out to Robert from New Jersey, originally Brooklyn, a can friend, but nonetheless, I got to say hi again if you didn't hear me earlier. Anyway, let's get to this IPA and talk about how this came down that you got it and why you kept it, and now why you're cracking it now. What's the importance of this?
The importance is or why I'm cracking it now is that it's just taking up space in the basement, right?
It wasn't because it was our show. Scott, I can cut you off right now. You realize that, right? We went over this and rehearsed this before we started.
No, it's as with fine wine, beer bottles get better with age, right. Especially higher volume.
Century folks, look how I look. Yeah, yep. Daddy-o. Okay.
I mean, you look good. How old are you? 16th century, 15th century?
15. Yeah. 15.
Not a gray hair.
Oh, it was a communal drink. Yeah, there's nothing. There's not a gray in sight.
Yeah. So you only want to do it with higher ABV beers, like a 8% or above. So Dogfish is 18%. If you've ever had Dogfish 120, it's you can only really have one in the stores or in the brew pub down in Rehoboth, just because it packs a punch. And
I must blew my top off the first time it was inside of me.
Yeah. So it's
I know how it felt for me.
Woo. It's malty, and the kind of the hop profile is not as forward as like a Dogfish 60, but then the reasoning why you age is to taste something different down the road. So you would get a lot of floral notes from the beer. You won't taste the hops as much. So, why don't we just crack it open and see what it tastes like?
Let's do it. I wish I was there.
Bottle.
My fellow bottle, go.
All right. So you heard a little bit of the carbonation. So I don't know if you could hear that, but still some carbonation.
Still a little left, huh?
Yeah.
Now you're going to pour it into a glass. I guess that bottle's a little musty to go straight from the bottle, or is that, you always feel like white trash.
You always want to have the pinky up,
Oh, I got
it. Bottles,
You are a sophisticated bottle. You're one of the
like this.
Bottles.
You know what the pinky up means? You know what the pinky up means? Bottle.
No, I don't.
Don't bother me when I'm drinking.
What's that?
Means don't bother me when I'm drinking.
What's it smell like?
It smells like a little malty.
Mm-hmm.
You can taste some kind of like a lemony flavor.
Right.
So, and then if you've had the 120 before, when it's fresh, it's very alcohol-y taste. You can taste the alcohol in it, right?
So it cuts down on that with age. Is that what you're saying?
So this is smooth.
Yeah. What's the finish like? What's the front end like? What's the finish like?
Now you're getting real specific, aren't you?
I mean, like if you hit your palate on the front, do you taste anything specific, or is it just kind of like, and then when it hits the back of your throat, what's it like?
It's smooth. It's smooth.
How about the notes?
You don't taste the hops. The hops have really kind of fallen out. And if I get to the bottom of it tonight, which I may, because I'm a bottle,
right,
got to wake up.
Taste anything out of a bottle, right, Scott?
Yeah.
The bottle.
So you should really only drink leave about 2 ounces left, because a lot of the trube, what they call it, the junk, should be sitting at the bottom of the bottle.
Right.
If you're for a real chemist, you can actually take some of this trube and harvest yeast from it by adding different chemicals, and it's a long process. It's like 6-step process where you can actually have the yeast that Dogfish uses to brew the beer. So you can use it over and over.
Wow.
If you're a better home brewer than I would ever be. So.
Well, let's be careful about putting documentation on us, because you might get a cease and desist from them. You never know.
Oh, it's all over the internet. You could do it.
Right. You start using their hops that was in their beer at first. I mean, that.
Well, we bought it.
What's that?
So possession is what? 10/10 of the law. I don't know.
In this state, apparently, where bottles just keep letting people from Pennsylvania come in and golf, I guess.
Exactly.
Right. Or the bottle run in the country just says it's my law, but then he always backs down. You ever notice that? Then he always goes.
He does.
Somebody hits him into reality, this bottle, right? Because
Yeah,
the real bottle here is sensible.
You are.
Don't be a poser and try to run the country.
I want to show you this. This is the bottle cap on 120, and Dogfish uses it to say basically danger. This is a strong beer you're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Danger bottle. The danger bottle.
That's a good bottle. I mean, they're bottles, those people, right?
Yeah.
But you consider them bottles or cans. The people that run it, and run the.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'd like to say he's a bottle, but I think deep down inside, he's kind of on the conservative level, like the can is, you know.
So
he's helping turtles back.
He talks like a bottle, but inside,
talks like a bottle, but acts like a, yeah. He's a can in bottle clothing.
Yeah. And there's lots of bottles and cans clothing. You know that, don't you? Mostly politicians.
Yeah, definitely.
They come out with idealistic views, and then they end up going into sort of a vast, it's bigger than us machine, and then they lose their soul.
But yeah, this is pretty good.
They really are.
Nice and smooth.
Good. So anyway, there you hear it. A 6-year-old Dogfish 120 cracked tonight by Scott the Bottle from his cellar lair. Now, do you get bottle babes down there, or are you married?
I'm married, so bottle babes. I have a single bottle babe.
No more bottle babes. Yeah, I'll have a bottle babe for you whenever they come back in. I've been lonely. I'm anyway. But you have to see the new movie, folks. We're going to be making a new movie as soon as we get out of this. The preview will be coming out with the sequel to Beer Can of Love Story. Scott, any parting words? How would you rate this Dogfish, a 6-year-old? If you had to give it, of course, you're going to rate it in bottles. There's 1 to 5 bottles. Which would it be? Or where would it be?
So what you're supposed to do is to have like a 6-year-old bottle with a baby bottle, a newborn bottle, one freshly brewed, right? So you're supposed to taste it and drink it and kind of taste it that way. I'd give this, I'd give it a 4.5 bottles.
That much, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't even given up. I maybe gave 1 4.5 bottle. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm sure the people at Dogfish would love that. And why is
we'll have to send this to Sam. Yeah, maybe I could be like that old lady. I need 120. Put a little sign in the window, and he just ships me
a bottle.
Yeah,
always in a bottle. There's no cans of this.
No, you can't put this stuff in cans.
Of course not.
No.
So, all right. Well, look, Scott, it's been great having you on. And everybody, please like us on Facebook, Beer Can of Love Story, even though it doesn't say anything about the bottle on there, which I'm still fighting them, in court. But I'm part of this movie. Scott is part of a promo with the Tiny House. You were
Tiny House promo, yeah.
Because we're going across the country. We'll be showing that a little more as we get out of this and we hit the road, because it's bottle versus can, folks. Get this. First of all, Barry Canders endorsed Joe Sixpack from Delaware to run against the Supreme Bottle in the White House, or the Waffle House is what's being called now. And we're going to be there, bottle versus can, along the way with that presidential campaign across the country. You'll be seeing us and hearing us, and not just virtually. We physically are going out to show the movie. We want to show it some more. We had 4 planned in April. Every weekend in April was booked. They've been rescheduled. At least 2 of them are rescheduled now. We'll keep you posted. We got a lot on tap. Thanks again to Scott. Please post mean things. We don't care. There's been lots of comments, and try out aging beer. Try it out. Yeah. Time will tell, right, Scott? Scott, I'll give you the final word today, because the bottle is very generous like that.
Well, I thank you, bottle. I guess drink responsibly. Don't overdo it while you're in quarantine. At least get out and be active and be safe.
I like it. Because, have no fear. The bottles are here. Now we got Scott, the bottle, in here. Fight the boredom. Because when the chips are down, say it, Scott, the bottles are around. Say it. When the chips are down,
the bottles are around.
That's right. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, bottle.